Well, I just wanted to thank you guys for inviting us in.
You invited us, technically.
Yeah, you guys invited us.
I was going to say to your studio because now we vampires, but but we're with Charlie and Tyler from Believing the Bizarre to discuss Sinners.
It's like Airbnb renters invited the hosts.
Yeah,
We're like, we're going to film at your place. Hope you don't mind. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank
All
you
good,
for
yeah.
having us on.
Yeah, excited.
Quick synopsis. We're a paranormal podcast. Talks about paranormal things and rank them on our believability scale. If you find it believable or not. End. Period. End.
Where can people find you?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Not Spotify last
I was
week.
about to say Spotify last week.
Yeah,
Did you see our show went down?
I saw some social postings about
Oh
it.
my God. So our show got redirected to a...
I don't think we have time to talk about it.
All right.
There's a redirection issue that was out of our hands.
Amazing.
To a
But
random white man somewhere else. But
Yeah, actually.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't his fault either. But
Interesting.
everything's good. We're most places. I know people are moving off Spotify, and I'm observing other places we can live. But
Search Believing the Bizarre. You'll find them somewhere.
yes.
Perfect.
So I wanted to get into our initial impressions for the movie. I know Charlie and I have seen it a couple of times at this point, but Alex, I don't think you've seen it at all.
Mm-mm.
And
Really?
Tyler, you haven't seen it either.
Wow.
No, I hadn't, and it was so good. I loved it.
I thought the acting was superb. It's funny because I feel like they were like, we could hire 2 actors, or what if we just have the same dude
I'm so
do
stupid,
2
though.
huge roles?
I'm so
thought-
dumb. I thought it was different people.
No.
Yeah, I know.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going to say it.
I had a couple moments where I was like, oh boy.
You boys twins? Nah, we cousins.
I was like, are they cousins?
No, you know what? They should have had them have different facial hair, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they should have
fair.
filmed all of, like, Smoke's scenes. And I'm not telling the director what to do. But then
But
film
then
all
like
of Stack's scenes. Like, one has a beard, one has the goatee, one is clean shaven. Because then it would have been easier. Because unless Stack had his big-ass hat on, it took me like an hour to learn the personality differences enough to
Yeah.
be like, oh, that's Smoke.
They
and that's
were
Stack.
subtle.
I was going to say they were color-coded, so it's good,
Yeah.
it's good to go.
Red,
Blue
blue.
and red.
That's
You knew who
true.
they were.
Yeah.
So they worked with twin consultants. It was Logan and Noah Miller on twin behavior, understanding how apparently they can make up for each other's weaknesses and often dominate different aspects of their lives. So Jordan took all of that advice and also developed different mannerisms for each of the twins, spoke to a dialect coach to change their voices a little bit, even wore different size shoes.
Wow.
Smoke, he wore his trauma differently, kind of closed up a bit.
You know, he's a tough cousin. He's grumpy. It's like, come on, bro. Why you don't got a smile on your face? Like, what's it gonna take?
And Stack was a lot lighter, you know, he smiled through his pain.
He's like the cool cousin you could talk to, you could laugh with, you could joke with. Just easy going overall.
Imagine other twins in this role. I don't know why when you said they consulted, I was imagining the twins from like the HGTV shows. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the 2 guys.
Property Brothers?
Yeah, is that who I'm thinking of? Is that...
What? Triggered
Yeah.
you. What's happening?
Imagine them in this
I'd
movie.
fucking jump scared. Jesus Christ.
What? What's
They're-
happening?
I think they're handsome men. I don't know what your problem is
They
with them.
bothered me, but that's a whole other issue.
That's another episode for another day. What do you guys think of the overall story?
I think it was acting and character driven film. I don't think it was story or plot driven.
Okay.
Not to give hints towards what my rating is going to be for the plot, but at the end of the day, it's people come in, create a juke joint, vampires interfere.
Mhm.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a couple other things that have been done, like Dust Till Dawn.
Yeah, I was getting the same vibe in terms of like hold out one place.
Yeah. Which is not, I think is not bad. But also, I think there's like, not to say you're wrong, but I think you're a little wrong. Because I think there is a lot of like, and it comes from story and the plot of like, there's a lot of cultural significance going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that plot, but I would
I think
say
it drives it though, a little bit.
that's in the filmmaking. I'm talking about like what actually is happening in the movie.
I think in the plot, it's driven through the cultural, through Remic's lived experience, and then into the southern free people, slave population.
I feel like that's more character motivation more than plot.
All right, fuck me.
But no, it's fine. I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't
like,
say you were wrong. These are
Yeah.
opinions. You're the one that said I was wrong.
I
Got
did
very
say-
defensive.
I did say that.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. But
You know what would have been crazy though?
Mhm.
If because the way trailers work and the way movies are out, it doesn't truly happen this way. But if you had a friend living under a rock and you're like, we're gonna just go see this movie, and the first hour of this film, they're like, okay, this is like a 30s, like, you know, racial in the South movie. The vampire twist would blow their minds.
Mhm.
Now, all of us, I'm assuming, went into it knowing that there was a paranormal element
Oh,
to
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
If you
yeah.
didn't, I think that would make this movie even more incredible for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it was in the trailer. So, like, you saw, even if you saw
Exactly.
the trailer, you would know that. But
I always wanted, like, if I were a movie director or anything, I had a hand in marketing. I always wanted to market a film like a romantic comedy, and then halfway through it turns into horror, but you never tell anyone when you market the film. And just to see what people would do. I know you probably can't do that legally or something, just because
People get mad sometimes. I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
the most recent one where like the movie didn't market it properly. I feel like Longlegs kind of
Yeah.
marketed more as horror, where it had horror elements, but I feel like it was more like thriller,
crime.
Crime procedural.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but could you imagine like going to a movie thinking it's a romantic comedy and halfway through someone like gets killed and it just turns into a horror movie?
yeah, well,
That's sort of fresh.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Well, I don't even think.
What's fresh? I've never
It's a
that's
cannibalism movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
got it.
Later meets a guy online, but then he turns out he's selling people on the black
Oh
market.
shit!
Got me the money.
I feel like in the 80s, 90s, 70s, where you don't have the internet and Facebook and everything like that, then if buddies like, you want to check out this film.
Mhm.
I feel like they would be more susceptible to being like, what are we watching versus now where we have like 60% of the plot.
I'm trusting you.
Yeah.
Take me somewhere. I'm trusting you.
That's fair. Because you don't really see anything to do with Remick or the other vampires until like 40 minutes in.
Yeah, 40, 45 was like I was looking for the timestamp because 20 minutes in, I'm like, okay. I turned into a game. I'm like, okay, I actually said, I think my guess was 57, but it was like almost exactly 40, 45.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
And I love that jump into the screen that he does.
It's very cool.
That's really cool.
Although, can I ask though, like the sun has been up. How has he been running? I was thinking about this last night while we were watching it, and so he's running to this house. The sun's up. How's he running there? I know he's like scorching and everything.
Yeah.
But like, where was he? Where it was like,
It's just a house in the middle of nowhere. So
Yeah.
where did he
where
come
was
from?
he?
I almost wonder if the Choctaw had kind of surrounded wherever his hiding place was and kind of pushed him out.
Yeah, even
But where
still,
was
but
that?
like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was also
In a-
it was
in a
like 5
hole in the
feet away
ground?
from this house
This vampire's been running for 5 hours. Just like, oh
in
my
the sun.
God. Yeah, it's not apparently not an instantaneous burst into flames kind of vampire.
No, that's all right. Well, unless you're an underling.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that more. I
Oh,
guess.
will we?
I don't want to jump ahead. I don't know where you guys want to go. But one part that I was so ashamed of myself is the music part when the vampires first come and they're playing music and they're like, we want to play music with you guys.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, no, we're good here. And then they left. I'm like, you guys are the fucking weakest zombies. Or not zombies,
Zombies.
vampires. I'm like, what is the whole point of this? And then when it got to cornbread,
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God, the invitation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so dumb. Like, I'm so stupid. And I'm so thankful they stuck to that.
Yeah, could
Yeah.
you imagine?
But yeah, when they came with the instruments the first time, the three of them, I'm like, I was just waiting for like and
Mhm.
it, but now it makes sense. But at the time I was like,
Yeah.
what are we waiting for?
Much more smooth than that.
Yeah.
Can't we just, for one night, just all be family? You don't need to do that, sir. We'll be on our way, but we're gonna walk real slow, just in case y'all change your mind.
Are you sure? I'm gonna go
My
now.
man's finger extensions,
Oh,
like, but as the movie
I
went
love
on, they
it.
like grew like 6
Oh,
inches.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
a
love
grower.
I mean, that's what makes him so. That's not the only thing, but I love that his hands were so big.
You could say that makes him scary.
Big
it makes
meaty
him pretty
hand.
scary.
Big meaty claws.
And even the fangs, like they had fangs all of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So I was like, it's really surprising how Remick got by for so long without kind of exposing himself
hmm
for what he was, where he just killed some people really instantly whenever they did.
I think so.
Yeah.
Cinematography wise, the eyes turning into the sun double glare at the very beginning.
The eyes were my favorite part of the
Yeah, they were
the
done really well.
vampires.
Well, they were painted on contacts, apparently.
Seriously?
Yeah, to give them that like
No!
reflective
That's
look,
crazy.
like cats. Apparently, all of them were blind on set. They just kind of like led them around, like, come on.
They're doing their take and they're just completely faced the other way.
I dropped my contact in suds
Oh no!
in my sink today, and then I rinsed it with water, which you're not supposed to do, and then I put in solution. And the suspense of putting it in my eye and hoping it didn't burn, which it didn't.
That's a
thankfully.
horror movie.
But putting painted contacts in
Mm.
sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wish the camera got your shock expression. You know?
But yeah, can you imagine having to dance like when they do Rocky Road to Dublin.
Yeah.
Because you can see all the glare on their eyes. So they
Yeah.
must have done that completely blind in a
Oh,
huge
man.
crowd.
Once you know the dance, you don't need to actually see where you're going, right?
Yeah.
How shocked were you guys when the electric guitar came out in the dancing scene inside?
Well, we saw it in theaters. We were thrown back.
I was like, the fuck? I'm like, this is dope. This is an amazing scene. But I'm like,
The scene where they were going through and like the past, and
all the
present.
evolution. Yeah.
It took me a minute to realize what was happening. And
I'm sorry, that was like one of my favorite scenes I've seen in cinema in a
Yes.
long time.
It was awesome.
I got chills. It was so cool. Like, obviously, going back is interesting, but to show the future, which is something I
Yeah.
haven't seen done.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
The lore that I can't remember the name of like what he is or whatever. It starts in the beginning and says he is that.
Yeah.
And it's like they bring spirits from the past and future.
How do you do that?
You play good
Little
guitar.
blues. Yeah, no, that scene was. Yeah, at first I was like, what is happening?
That's what Dave Matthews sees
every
every time he plays.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, that was a really cool scene. It took me a minute, but then once it got there, I was like, and then when they went future,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa.
did you notice that when they focused on the Chow family, that's when they started like incorporating more Chinese dancers? Like
No.
one or
Mhm.
two.
No,
couples
that's
that were in
awesome.
there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
Who
It just-
directed this? Do we know?
Ryan Coogler.
What has he done? Do we know anything?
Black
Of
Panther?
the Black Panther movies.
Oh, I didn't see this. Okay.
That's
And
also
something
Michael B.
else.
Jordan was
Yeah,
in
he
Black
did a
Panther.
few
That
other
makes sense.
things too, but probably
You didn't see Black Panther?
I didn't.
I
see
didn't.
it
I haven't
either.
seen many Marvel.
No, I knew
movies.
that. As soon as I said that left my mouth, I was like, yeah.
I didn't see Black Panther.
I've seen Endgame.
Really?
You
Yeah,
like
I'm
Black
not a
Panther?
huge Marvel person either.
All right. Well, I liked it. I like
Black Panther
comic
movies
books.
are very good.
I just forced Steph to come to a lot of them.
Oh, we could talk about cultural significance, and then with the caveat being it's for white people, because I know you have information on.
I do.
Can I give you my instincts and what it felt like
Yeah,
with
of
the
course.
vampires, and then with everyone inside the juke joint, and the blues music being the reason why they came? It felt like symbolism for white man comes and wants to take the black man's culture,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, there's different meanings. I know, Charlie, you have some information on the Irish, but a lot of it, there are similarities between like the plights of the Irish people and the African Americans and the Chinese people. So, Charlie, I know you wanted
Yeah,
to
a little
talk
bit.
about
I just
that.
know a little bit. So Ireland was its own nation for a long time. Have you heard of Celtic Druids?
Mm-mm.
Well, surely you know in D&D there's a class
Yeah,
called
well,
Druid.
yeah, I know. D&D.
Which is not
I wouldn't say
entirely-
surely, but
So a druid, the Celtic Druids, it's kind of like the religion of Ireland practiced before it became Catholic, very heavily Catholic, which happened in about 400, 800 AD. There's a span there where it took like missionaries to come to Ireland to convert the Irish people to Catholicism. And essentially, like we talked about already, like they came, they took their culture away from them. They took away Gaelic. They took away their religion of the Druidic practice. And in that, they lost a lot of their like past. And that's why the resurgence of Gaelic in Irish culture and Scottish culture and all cultures that speak it is really important. And it's good that it's coming back and it's taught in schools because it is a big, like I said, 400 AD. It's an old mythology that it's good that it's being taught again.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they not permitted to dance as well? And that's why it's like significant that Remick dances in the film.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was a lot of dancing joy. Weird. Catholicism took away some joy. But yeah, they took away that as well.
Yeah. And then the interesting thing to me is obviously the vampire is Irish. And with the two groups that were discriminated against, the Irish actually assimilated
Mhm.
when they came to America. So it's kind of the distinction between the Irish assimilated. So that's the vampirism, turning people into vampires, whereas the African Americans weren't able to do so. So that's kind of where that.
Well, it's easier because they're the same shade.
Well, exactly. Yeah. That's why I said they weren't
a lot
able
of
to.
Irish people became cops.
Mhm.
They do things like that, and that's why that Flanagan is such a popular cop name.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Flanagan.
I think so.
Maybe I'm making it up. I
it's
don't
a
know.
little anecdotal, but
Yeah. But it's interesting that they used vampirism to kind of tell that assimilation story.
Mhm.
That's what I took out of it, at least.
yeah, it just felt like I want what you're building, the blues guitar, and it's like we know
Taking.
specifically in music, not so much with like the Irish, but like how white people took over rock and roll and stuff,
Mhm.
and like that when it's like we weren't the culture that built
Was
it,
it
created
Delta
it.
Slim said like,
See, white folks say they like the blues just fine. They just don't like the people who make it.
Them peckerwoods was nodding their heads, stomping their feet. Some of them was almost on the rhythm. And the rest, maybe change it up, confuse them.
They also wanted to keep religion separated in the movie because obviously that's kind of the choice Sammy has to either go on playing blues and living a sinner's lifestyle or going back home to being with his father and being a preacher's son and eventually being a preacher himself. Also, Slim also does say that they brought the blues from home with them from Africa.
yeah,
And religion was forced on them as well. So
Mhm.
like this is homegrown. This is our thing. And,
Yeah.
and religion isn't the same.
I do like Delta Slim. I think he's my favorite character.
He went out rough.
He did,
Mhm.
but he chose it too. That's
Yeah, I'm like, why?
Like this, too.
yeah.
I feel like that was unnecessary. He could have.
It
They were
was
already in there.
I think it was a sacrifice for him, and
Yeah.
it was
He promised that
Well,
he
not
would let them go through him first.
Yeah, not like him sacrificing himself, but him cutting himself like he did. was
I
like,
think
don't
that
do
was
that.
I think that was
Symbolic.
two things. I think that was like in Twilight Eclipse, like we were
Mhm.
watching after this movie. The third wife did that to sacrifice herself to help save the tribe, but also it's full commitment. He's not getting out of that,
I feel
Yeah.
like we're gonna get some down likes for
Whoa.
for the comparison
I
to
think
Twilight.
there's many things we'll get down likes for. I don't think it's Twilight.
What if- What if the vampires, because he cut himself, he's like, you know what? Out of like spite, they just leave him and then just go to the other people.
We'll get you later.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if his hope is that if he cuts his arm, like in a unaliving kind of manner, that
Mhm.
even if they bite him, he won't be able to turn. He won't have anything in him to give.
Perhaps.
Dude, he killed Anna before she was dead. Like she's like, wait, I'm not dead. He's like, I got you. I'm like, yeah, that's a terrible way to go.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's not a nut. It's a fucking steak. And she's like, she's not even dead yet.
Well,
It's pretty
she was gonna.
instantaneous.
She was gonna, but she's like, let me pass first.
Yeah, let's let her suffer a little bit longer before we actually
Well,
take
shoot
her
her in the head and then do it or something. Like, geez.
No, Anna was in a rush to get back to her baby. She's like, you
No.
promised me. Let's do this.
That was a sad moment.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Speaking of that scene, did you notice Mary as a vampire almost snapped out of it for a second? She's like, no, Annie.
Yeah.
Like, what was that all
Well, I
about?
think they had it planned. Like they were going to change Annie. They're
Mhm.
going to change Smoke. They're going to be a family
Oh, is
together.
that
But okay,
what-
I got that too. But when she was talking about what a vampire is, it made it seem like it was no longer them. But as the movie went on, it seemed like they kept their personality.
That's her understanding, but
That's
I
true.
know.
I guess it's weird to drop lore and her be wrong, but that is the way it came
it
across.
seems like she just from what
Because
she
by the
understood.
ending scene, obviously, that felt like Stack and Mary.
I
when
think it still
he was-
is. It
I
just
think it's because she at first confused them as hate.
That's true.
And
Okay.
that's what she said, that they take the soul and kind of like hide
Yes.
it away. And it's whatever's in their
She's
place
like,
that's taking them. And then she's like,
Right.
actually,
My
it's
bad, my
vampires.
bad.
I
These
know.
vampires. my bad, my beauty.
Not problem, I guess. There's just so many variations of vampires. I'm like, are they themselves still? Do they have a soul? Do
Yeah.
they care? It just seemed like she cared all of a sudden. Like, where
No,
in my
they-
mind, vampires wouldn't give a shit. But
It's back to like that assimilation thing. They think that once they become vampires, like one of the, what was her name? Lorraine, the first woman that gets turned by Remick.
yeah.
We're gonna start ourselves a new clan based on love.
Yeah, like I said, I think that they wanted their whole family together.
okay. That's fair. I just wasn't sure.
I do want to point out really quickly, Mary. You said Mary.
I did.
Congratulations,
Josh
Josh Allen
Allen.
and Mary are having a baby.
I bet he loved watching that scene.
No, I told Steph again. I was like, I wonder if he hates this
He's like, I
movie.
could beat him up. My 6'6" ass could take him.
Matthew. Oh.
Josh Allen.
They're gonna make beautiful babies.
football quarterback. Good for them.
We love Josh Allen.
I do like
I
Josh
love him
Allen.
too. He looks
All right. Do you guys think that the "we're gonna kill your daughter" was a bluff to get them to get invited, or do you think they were gonna send some of their crew to go kill her?
Bluff.
bluff.
I was thinking bluff too.
Yeah,
I mean, they had all night to do it if they would have held out.
There were so many more vampires than I thought too.
they were busy.
Yeah.
They
As
must
soon as
have-
everyone left, he just like, well, eating time.
Yeah, I think they would have maybe if she was closer, out of convenience, like got her. But they don't need to.
Dude, when she screamed that they were, I'm like, you just literally don't move for like 6 hours. 5 hours. I don't know how long it was.
Yeah.
I know, but she was
Yeah.
probably worried that they were going to actually do it.
She was the Roman candle that lit the whole thing, though.
Literal candle, yeah.
Yeah.
She was a literal candle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also because they could access like all of her memories, all of her emotions through Bo, her husband. So he knew what would upset her.
He's a spy.
So they all knew what
Mhm.
would upset her. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so mad at her. I'm like, no, but I get it.
But they had to have
Probably-
some reason to.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
They did all the character development for 15 minutes. Might as well use it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the daughter.
What do you think about that family, the Chinese family, in the movie when they're in town? They have a store on the right side and a store on the left side.
Yeah.
For the different segregation. What do you think about?
I mean, that's smart business decisions. I don't know.
I actually looked up some history on it. Kugler admitted to digging into Chinese history with the Black community at this time after finding out his father-in-law was half Chinese and kind of wondering where he came from. They used some sort of African ancestry DNA site and found out that they were from the Mississippi Delta. And he brought on this journalist and documentary filmmaker as a consultant that she did the untold story of America's Southern Chinese. Her name was Dolly Lee, and she paid homage to their history and centers with the Chow family. There's a woman they use in the documentary, Frida Kwan, and her family actually had 2 convenience stores, one that served the white side of town and one that served the black, because they weren't really accepted by either, but it was a good kind of medium ground.
Good
Get that
business
paper.
decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
business decision.
It kind of like just depended what circles they were running in. Like sometimes they could be kind of counted as passing for white sometime, but I think they were also encouraged to attend colored schools, but don't try to associate with them if you want to appear white.
Yeah. I was just surprised when they were in town how a character tries to steal Stack's stuff out of the truck. And he just shoots 2 people and no one like bats an eye. And
Can we talk a little bit about
That's probably Stack and Smoke character building, right? Like no one would cross them, or if you did.
Yeah, because they were gangsters.
Yeah.
Well, can we talk a little bit about the weapons?
Yeah.
I fucking weapons in war.
This was the whole reason.
See, to me, I was like, they got a
This is
gun.
my king. So he had primarily had a 1911.
Okay.
Built in 1911 because they fought in World War One.
Mhm.
They fought the trenches. That's why he had the trench knife as well, primarily for that, because America fought in that war for like a year, and then if they fought in the war, they went to work for Al Capone
In Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago.
in Chicago.
But also, I think the Irish families as well too in Chicago.
I
But-
wonder if one did one family and
No.
one did the other.
No,
I don't. I think they
I don't-
would. It makes the.
I
Just parent trap them, you
I don't
know?
think they would have separated.
The Parent Trap.
Weren't they
Again.
talking about double crossing both sides, though?
Yeah. That's why I think they probably both worked for both. Kind of like the Iceman killer. He worked for all of the families in New York and Jersey. And also the gun that Mary got from Stack, that was a German gun, a Luger, which is something they must have gotten from their, I don't want to say victories in Germany, but from
People they killed in the war.
Well,
Yeah.
the time that they served.
Yep.
From
But
their
that,
vacay.
their
in war.
European vacation.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just shows how, I mean, you only get that if you get enough kills, because not every German soldier had a pistol like that.
hmm
I feel like there's a big warehouse somewhere in California, like just miles big.
Oh,
And there's just like 500 cars from each decade,
yeah,
a weapon from each decade, and movies just go and rent them out.
for sure.
Because
Oh, yeah, probably.
it's like when a period film does a really good job making it feel that way with the cars and the clothing and everything, the housing, and just like, where's all this shit at? Like,
Yeah.
it's just
It's
there's,
all- it's
there's
all in
one
California.
warehouse that just has all of it.
Yeah. At the end too, he uses a couple other weapons, right?
Mhm.
He uses a BAR, I think it is, when he's like in the woods and
Okay.
it's got the tripod. It's a big, heavy gun, and then he has a grenade, obviously, and then he's like catch.
I know he like made sure he got in there. He like got closer.
Yeah, and then he's got the Tommy gun with the round, with
Yeah.
with the round barrel, and then he switches to a stack and the Tommy gun, and that's rounding up my mentions of guns.
So what you're saying is they were accurate.
Yes, absolutely, very accurate.
Yeah, when he pulled out the Tommy gun, Charlie literally went, Tommy gun!
It's a Tommy gun from The Mask.
From The Mask.
So what did you guys think about the whole choice that Sammy has to make with taking the risk of leaving his home and going out to playing blues, but also, inviting the devil in kind of thing, or even just facing discrimination elsewhere.
Are you saying the beginning of the film choice or the ending of the film choice?
I think it's kind of discussed throughout because at one point Smoke takes him aside and he tells him that he wants to leave for Chicago after this. And Smoke's like, absolutely not. Don't be like us.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kill you.
Yeah, he will.
He's like, I was in the war. You gave me a command, but then he didn't do it.
Nah.
Just
Yeah.
like, call his bluff.
I knew that was empty.
I think that's when they got distracted by,
You think he's gonna shoot him?
well, I don't know. He's very serious with
That'd be not hilarious. If he shot him there.
He ain't go nowhere now, I suppose.
Like, all right, you win.
Although I wonder if the vampires would have left if he did shoot him.
Sam?
Because
Because he's the one who summoned him?
Because he said that the only reason they're there is for him.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so
But to answer your question, I mean, easy for me to be like, follow your dreams. Absolutely go. But I'm a white
it's a very
guy.
dangerous.
Right.
It's a very dangerous. I mean, what would Mary say? She's like, I'd say it's worth it, but that's bullshit or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, at the end, I was like, how's he gonna get a new, like, let alone not a new guitar, but also new clothes? Like, he looked like, I mean, he was driving out, like, he was like, he's seen some shit.
Which he did.
Which he did, he did, of course. But, like, he had, like, did he sell the car to get new clothes and a new guitar and stuff?
Who knows?
That's my thought.
He probably found one opportunity where he played guitar and the Moneyball eyes came on for the owners and he probably worked his way back.
Yeah. That was my one complaint about the ending, though, that they tell us what's basically, the night before from that opening scene, him going back to the church and he's all bloody. He's got that scar across his face and the broken guitar.
Yeah.
And you kind of wait for him to give a response to his dad, and it really never comes at the end. Kind of wanted him to say no or just see him walking out. We see him drive away, so we know what decision he made. But.
Well, there's the ending scene. Did you guys see the
Right,
ending?
yeah.
How do y'all feel about the very start of the movie as he goes into the church with the broken guitar and it looks like that?
I didn't know if he was infected or not. I thought that was cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought, so part of my criticism of the film is I feel like it has 3 different endings.
Yeah.
It, like, kind of closes off with Smoke meeting Annie in the afterlife, potentially.
Yeah.
Then he returns back to where the movie starts. And then we have the final scene where it takes place in the 90s. I feel like that if they're going to start with the scene of him going in the church, it should have ended with the scene of him going back into the church. Personally,
I don't mind the ending scene. I wonder if it was at the end because it didn't fit the film how he wanted it. But he's like, I like the scene. I wanted to, because some people will leave and they won't see it.
The beginning where he walks into the church with the guitar handle and his clothes like that, I kind of blows a lot of the suspense for me
because he survived.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'll say the very, very ending in the 90s is probably one of the only true twists.
I really like that.
Because you would think that Smoke killed Stack.
Yeah.
And that scene proves he didn't. I mean, everything else kind of went as you would expect.
Yeah, I do really like that like meeting scene, but
and you get to see the futuristic because they already hinted the
Yeah.
future with like the dancing, and now we get to see Stack dressed in like in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't necessarily dislike that scene, but I'm just saying if they're going to start with the church, they should end with the church. So they could have just cut the church at the beginning.
I agree with that.
That's my qualm, but it's like I like the endings. It just felt like it ended. Okay, here's another ending. Okay, here's another ending. I'm like, okay, are we wrapping this up?
I pitched this to Steph last night. I was like, how cool would it have been, right? If Smoke survived and he becomes a vampire hunter. It's sick, right?
I literally said that because we haven't talked about the ending when the KKK show up, but I'm like, when he's gearing up, I'm like, he's becoming a vampire. That's literally what I said out loud. I'm like, oh, that's not what's happening.
Was it Jamie Foxx in that Vampire Hunter movie we watched?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
If that was Michael B. Jordan, that'd be like an insane tie-in.
Yeah.
But I debated with Charlie, which I don't know if it's really possible, but I've thought if Smoke believed that Stack was alive, he wouldn't have let himself die after the KKK showing up. Because he takes off his little hoodoo bag that Annie gave him that's protecting him, and that's why they can't bite him, because he knows he's going to probably die or not make it. And
I think he planned that.
Yeah. But either way, I think if he knew that Stack was still out there, he probably would have tried to go out and kill him so then he could reunite with him in the afterlife.
He let him go, though. He knew he was alive.
But
they fought.
But he saw everybody else burn up when Remick died. So I don't know. I guess, yeah.
I don't know. Twin power, I think he knows he's alive.
I was so nervous that he was going to die before he killed the other guy at the end. I'm like, I don't think he's dead yet. The KKK member. I'm like, because he's like going for the baby. I'm like, job's not done yet. And I'm so glad he's like, I got money. I'm like, all right, he remembers you.
That is a crazy, like, he's like, oh, the baby. And then he's like, I got money. And then he just blows him away. And then he picks up, he's like, oh, baby.
It would have been unsatisfying if he didn't. But yeah, that transition from like gun to baby, the innocence.
I love watching Annie's expression through that. She's like, okay, you can still hold her, I guess.
Yeah.
That baby's just going to be a baby forever in heaven. He's like, never going to grow up.
Oh man, that sucks. Goo goo gaga 25.
Oh no.
Like, is this heaven or
There's like a lot more work here.
the whole adoption center in heaven?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Run by babies.
What? Run?
Well, no, some people die and they're not babies.
I know. I'm just in my mind, it's like the baby.
Everyone reverts to baby when you die.
When I first saw the trailer initially, I thought it was going to be kind of a deal with the devil situation that goes awry, because this is apparently the crossroads where Robert Johnson sold his soul to Satan.
We talked about Robert Johnson on episode 9 of Completely Bizarre.
Episode 9?
Yeah, it was really early.
9, go way back.
Yeah.
Are you sure that was 9?
No.
I think it was 5.
Oh, okay.
It was super early.
Single digits.
I think it was 5. It was after Skyquakes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like, obviously he doesn't, and he's naturally talented. I was just curious about the whole choice. And even though he does choose to follow his dreams, there was still a lot of sacrifices made for him to get there. He lost a lot of people because Remick came after them solely for Sammy's power, his music, and wanted to share it in exchange for Remick's history, symbolizing the erasure of each of their cultures as they became oppressed by America, England.
Do you think, since he has these powers to summon spirits or vampires in this case, is he just constantly going to have to deal with this now every time he plays a show? Vampires just rolling up?
I had thought about that. I think it's just so rare. Like the supernatural was dying out at that point, and it's just so rare that it was a 1 in a million, needle in a haystack.
He's like a once in a lifetime talent kind of thing, a once in a generation. But Slim did imply that he had met somebody that he believed to be the devil before.
Okay.
As well. So that's why he said, like, if they're going to come in here, the devil's going to have to go through Slim first.
Okay. Could you imagine every time you play guitar and every time you sing, there's just a vampire knocking at your door like, hey, I hear you. Like,
do you think it was like baptism symbolism at the end with the water?
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. It was going to cleanse him of everything in his culture. And
you baptized?
I am.
You baptized?
Unfortunately.
You baptized?
I am.
Not baptized.
Go to hell.
Oh, well.
I feel like mine shouldn't count because I was baptized in Lake Erie, which is a terrible place.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that'll count. I'm surprised you survived that, to be honest.
Yeah. I think your immune system might be great because of that.
Yeah. Stephanie's never been sick a day in her life. Just off the bat.
She just glows green at night. It's fine.
At night.
It's fine. It's all right. We're used to
I have
it.
my own nightlight.
Yeah, we're used to it. It's good.
I just had some commentary, like when the Choctaws show up to warn the couple about Remick. They're like, you got 2 seconds before nightfall and then we be out.
Yeah. I love the Choctaw in this. I think there's such a cool little, I wish there was a little bit more. If they ever do a sequel, I think they should include the Choctaw some more in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not to tell the director again.
Do this.
I would like to know Remick's backstory just because I think it would be interesting.
He dead though.
Yeah.
He gone.
Like a prequel.
A prequel,
kind of
I was going to say, yeah.
I know, like, sometimes it's cheap to do it.
Producer Ben always wants a prequel as well. He always asks for a prequel for everything.
I want to know more.
I want to know more about their past.
But Remick's wearing like a wedding ring and stuff like that. Like, he told them that they took his wife. It could have been what happened when the English came.
Probably.
Yeah. So I'm just curious how he got there and everything, and he's the only person that survived it.
Vampire.
This ain't about him.
It's not his story.
And I also have to say, like, I know, what the whole symbolism of the Irish music is in this movie, but it is a bop. I would be very tempted
Rocky
to
Road
be
to
like,
Dublin?
yeah, let's go.
Oh my God. Would you consider this a musical almost? Because I heard it.
There were moments that I was like, because there was like a whole hour section for like every 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. They were singing, and someone had mentioned that, and I was like, yeah, we probably could, because there's
I would say
long ways.
no,
Yeah.
because the songs didn't propel the plot.
Yeah.
Like they weren't singing what was happening.
Yeah,
they were
that's
just singing
fair.
the song. I mean, like some of the songs were ironic.
Mhm.
Like the Adams. Was it Adam? Where they cleaned Adam?
Pick him clean.
Pick
Picked him
Robin.
clean.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, that's ironic. But it's not like they were singing like plot,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Because someone had mentioned, had a different director who wasn't maybe as talented did this amount of music, it would come across as kind of hokey or like,
Yeah.
why is there
Hacky.
just music throughout?
No,
but
but it
I
totally
didn't even
fit.
think of, I didn't even think of it like outside of the plot or off to have it included.
Yeah.
To go back to a previous, I think you said it. One of you guys said it, I think. But even though knowing this was about vampires, there was a big portion where I was just like, I mean, is this about devils? Because the music, the crossroads, the guitar, the blues, and I'm like, did I get this whole movie wrong? Like, and I wasn't gonna look it up. I'm like, was it vampires or is this a devil thing? Because when he goes into church, it kind of has moments where you feel like it's demonic.
I feel like it goes hand in hand. Devils and vampires. Mostly.
I guess I meant like selling the soul.
Yeah,
type of a
yeah.
thing. But yeah.
Yeah, that was what Stephanie was
Yeah, I
saying.
had during even knowing it was about vampires, there were moments where I was like, it's kind of set up for a sell your soul thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah. Well, give up everything else that you have for this family community. But also, did you notice like they didn't use any sort of like religious symbolism to take out the vampires, like holy water or crucifixes or anything? It was all like the pickled garlic.
Mostly garlic,
and
which
mistakes.
is pretty anti-Italian, if I'm being honest.
I think that's pro. That was a good
pretty
thing.
pro-Italian, if I'm being honest.
That's what helped them survive. So I think that's a good thing.
I was like, bitch, eat the fucking garlic.
Like,
yeah, that trying the garlic
I was
scene
like,
was
eat
a
the
lot.
fucking garlic. What are you doing?
And Slim freaking out. We're like, not the time.
Just do it.
What's going on, Slim?
I drank too much. That goddamn beer from Chicago.
One more thing I wanted to add before we get into our ratings. How do you guys think that the hive mind aspect of Remick and the vampires works? Because like they're sharing all these memories, and do you feel like they don't have much control? And maybe once Mary saw like Annie get killed, maybe that kind of like broke the spell for her, and it kind of made it more real where she could make her own decisions.
Well, that's why I was confused when I brought it up initially. I'm like, did she like snap out of it, or are they still fueled by their previous wants and desires?
I wonder if Remick died, Mary became her own leader, right? And took...
Because she would have been the last one that was changed, or the first one that was changed.
And she
by him.
changed Smoke,
Mhm.
or Stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just a thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah. I was wondering if he like tapped into their oppression to access his own culture. Hence the singing of the Irish music.
Mhm.
And what's really missing that Sammy could fulfill here, because I mean, obviously he is tapping into his culture and he's singing and stuff. Somebody speculated online that Sammy is a bridge so that he can see his ancestors, which I'm not sure how that works.
That's
but-
what he said, though.
Really? Okay.
He said, I want to see my ancestors again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
I didn't remember that either.
I don't know. It made it seem like, our performance is good, but
Well,
when you get here, we'll be like
That's
touring
why he
good.
wanted. That's why he wanted him to see his past, his
Okay.
culture.
Before I knew about the hive mind thing, when they go to the juke joint and they have like choreographed dancing, I was like, when did they take the time to
Practice.
learn this and practice?
On the walk there.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, we do this part.
This is
Wait.
Jaybird. You go.
Yeah, no, I was like,
That's why it's a musical, Tyler.
yeah, no, for real. I was like, when did they take the time? But then the more the hive mind, I'm like, all right, that makes sense.
I think the hive mind is like not the most together. Like I think it's when it's convenient for the story, it works, but
Yeah.
otherwise it's not that, because they're almost their own person. Like in like Fright Night, I think that hive mind is more complete. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about.
It's the fingers.
Yeah,
Once
The
you
longer
see
the fingers, the more power you
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like,
And they feel his
just
pain
smack
too.
it on everything.
Yeah.
And that's like almost like a really late revelation.
Very late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird to me. I was like, really?
It almost came out of nowhere, right?
I'd be guarding him. I'd keep him in like the middle, like a queen bee.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
all
If
the
you feel
workers.
his-
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if I feel your pain, I'm
Like
bubble
imagine-
wrapping your
yeah,
ass.
paper cutting those big meaty claws.
You're not
just
leaving
like-
this room ever.
But there were like several movies that Coogler took for inspiration, like The Faculty, I think.
Yeah,
you
The
had.
Faculty, which I found weird. Luck of the Irish, Disney. Luck of the Irish.
Okay. I was saving it, but now this is too perfect.
Okay.
I'll talk more about suspense when we get to the rating. One of my favorite scenes in the entire movie was the garlic scene.
Okay.
Because I love the whodunit, and I wrote this down in my notes. You can see it right here, and I didn't write it. The scene where they're taking the drugs in The Faculty felt entirely like the garlic scene. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
I love that scene in The Faculty, and I'm getting 100% those vibes here.
Yep.
Which I love that he didn't lead up to the expectation that one of them was going to burn. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the girl that faked it with her nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got 100% Faculty vibes there. So to hear that is awesome and
Yeah.
very validating for me. But that was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
So we are going to rate each category 1 out of 3 and total them all up to get our overall scary rating. And since you guys are our guest, how about you guys go first?
Okay. Tell you want to go on plot.
All right, plot, I give it a 2. I originally started a 1 until the movie went on, because at first it was like juke joint vampires.
Fair enough.
Obviously, because the cultural significance and the symbolism, I don't attribute to plot. I give the movie credit, but I don't attribute it to plot.
That makes sense.
But then as the movie went on, it became like brother versus brother, and the more the battle between them and the vampires came on, I'm like, I would feel gross giving it a 1. So 2 on plot, 3 on atmosphere. I mean, your discussion about the guns just adds to this. It's like the cars, the clothing, the guns, everything felt like 30s. They did an amazing job making it immersive. I wrote the whole thing down about the warehouse with all the shit in it, because they do an amazing job making you feel like you're in the 30s, and then like the horror elements of like, I love the shots, you know, where like Cornbread was the one guy outside and just like the barrier
so bad
between
for Cornbread.
inside. And I know he got shit on the whole movie.
Yeah.
But probably the longest piss that anyone ever took in a movie.
And, like, we didn't need to also see
Yeah.
the pissing. So I give atmosphere a 3. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it looked really, really well. Suspense. All right, I'm pivoting. I was between 1 and 2. I'm gonna give it a 1. The garlic scene was my favorite because I truly didn't know what was going to happen. The reveal of the vampires every time felt Shakespearean. We know, characters don't know. But there were so many opportunities for us not to know, like Mary.
Yeah.
Mary was the perfect opportunity for us to be guessing. Is she? Isn't she? Is she?
Yeah.
The way
And then
she
they
acted
show that-
immediately.
Yeah. Well, there's that scene where he rises, even still.
Where he defies gravity?
Yeah.
Right. I just say, like, even with that scene, there was an opportunity for her to be, you know, for us to question, like, is she, isn't she? But her behavior 100% led to she was. And, like,
knowing that she was, it was fuck, well, let's see how this unfolds kind of a thing. Because, like, knowing she was the threat, I personally don't think I needed to question it myself, because now that I know that, like, now I'm, like, gearing up for the 3rd act finale battle. So
it's a different type of suspense.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's going to happen? That's fair. Because, for instance, I loved the suspense where Cornbread, like, it wasn't my suspense because I know Cornbread was a vampire, but not knowing if they were going to let him in, I guess. And we got that whole revelation. But that was a really good scene.
Yeah.
But I don't. So I get.
Great scene.
And what is it we supposed to be doing?
Being kind to one another and being polite. Now, we is one people, and we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited.
So I give suspense a 1. I think there was more opportunities there for that. And then villain, I give 2, because the more you look into it, and like everything's with the Irish and stuff like that makes sense, and there's stuff to build from that. But if someone's watching this surface level, the vampires just kind of pop in, and they just like they're this threat that's around. But I was between 1 and 2. I'll give him a 2.
Okay. Did you give your extra point?
Extra point?
Yeah, I'll give extra point.
Amazing. What is that total to?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. Perfect.
All right. So my turn. So with the plot, like I said already, Dusk Till Dawn kind of is in the same boat as it, but I think it's a really well done version of that.
Yeah, that was also another inspiration that he listed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's probably the closest movie to this.
Atmosphere, I actually only put a 2. I think it's really well done. Then I was making the ranking. I was like, you know what though? It's only really scary toward the end, but and it's really well set, right? It's really well dressed. But I don't want to make this a scarier movie because the atmosphere is really well done.
Yeah.
But so I only made it a 2 because it only really picks up in the 3rd act.
Exactly.
It's beautifully done, like Tyler said. You know, it really puts you into place.
Are you giving atmosphere more weight on horror?
Yeah.
Rather than like
the whole movie?
Yeah. Or the setting.
Yeah, it's more of a horror atmosphere, which the only thing only picks up to like the 3rd quarter. Third act.
3rd quarter. Same thing.
Suspense, I went even further than you. I put 0. I felt there's no suspense in this movie.
Yeah, I was very
like in the very first shot, I'm like, that kills all the fucking suspense for me. Like
for that character.
For that character. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but there's so many. Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. This is your thought. But like, there's so many other characters that are, you don't know the fate of.
I guess
He said, "Fuck him."
I don't care about that.
It just took away a lot of suspense for me.
Okay, no, that's fine.
And although I think the way he is, though, in the beginning, you can almost imply he's the only survivor. So when he comes back like that in the very first shot, and I'm like, yeah, they're all dead.
Did anyone think he was vampire infected or
I didn't.
in the first?
It was broad daylight. I didn't think that.
I guess that's true. I was thinking, maybe that's why I was thinking demonic too.
Yeah.
Could be.
And also, if he was some kind of possessed, I don't think he would have been able to get into the church.
Yeah, I was
like
ready
a
for him to
trophy thing.
whip that in the first movie.
Or in the neck.
But yeah, I like the thing with Mary. Like, you knew she was a vampire.
Do you feel like they could have made you guess?
there's moments that you could have been like, oh shit, who's who?
Or Cornbread even.
Yeah.
Like you're so sus when you're a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's lots of moments they could have like drawn out like, oh, are they gonna fight you? The only real is that faculty garlic moment.
Mm-hmm.
But even that,
the payment scene was good too, where he's reaching out and he
That
gets
was
grabbed.
really
You knew
good.
he wasn't going to get bit in that moment, but
yeah, I knew he had the fucking strap on him. I knew he was gonna be fine. And then the villain, I put 3. I think Remick is fantastic. The way he just is so smooth, takes control, and is a great approximation of a simulation.
So what's your score?
Did you give it your extra special point?
I did. I believe it deserves every extra special point. It's fantastic. So 3, 2, that's 5. Plus another 3 is 8. 9.
9.
Okay.
We tied.
Them down.
Hey, Stephanie.
I had plot as a 3. I think it does a really nice job building the characters out, getting to know them. So then it's like really significant when they all pass. But
when they all die.
Yeah, when they all die. Because then they all have their own motivations and their own cultural significance. I think it's a nice way to build up to the story. So then when everything goes downhill, it's terrible and sad.
All bad.
All bad.
But I also did consider what you guys said too about the suspense. I agree. Once the vampires show up, you kind of know it's inevitable, especially whoever goes outside. Like when they tell everyone to go home, I was like, well, shit, those are all vampires now.
In my little mind, I was like, maybe Bo's okay.
Even the dude that was like begging to get in,
yeah,
we all kind of, when they were like, oh, we thought that was blood. Like we all knew he wasn't a vampire, you know what I mean? So there was no suspense on like, if they open the door, is he gonna, you know what I mean? Like they could have had a vampire pretend to be, I don't know.
Yeah. And then atmosphere, I gave a 3. The immersiveness, I like when you see Lisa cross the street from their store, you can see that divide between the white and the black community.
But does that add to the horror element of it?
Does it have to be horror? Is that how you guys do it?
That's how I do it. It's really up to interpretation, which is why we try to like
Well,
explain it.
It doesn't make it scary.
I think it adds to the atmosphere because you feel immersed in the story. That's
I mean, you're
let
both
me
right.
let me further my explanation. You cut me off.
I did. You're right.
So also, I think it makes it more relevant to the other realistic threats that are not supernatural waiting for them out there.
Oh,
so like Slim explains that story of his friend that was lynched, and then
that story was like this long, but just you were like, damn, and the little audio cues in it, like that was rough.
Yes,
masterful,
heart-wrenching. And then him like trying to self-soothe with music at the end. Yeah.
And if I could say something, this movie's going to hit different for different people too, based on race and stuff like that. So want to also say that.
For sure.
Yes. And even when they get the truck, the snake that attacks them.
Yeah.
It's just like the potential that danger is out there.
It also shows them working together so well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously. But that's just things I had to include with the atmosphere and just the immersiveness of the culture and everything. You really understand the motive behind all of it. And I think it just adds to it, makes it even better. Villain, I gave a 2. I think Remick's very charming, super powerful. And, you know, it makes sense why he's been around since like, what, the 1600s?
No, more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
We're talking like 40?
400 AD.
400 AD.
Oh,
400 AD.
Got them long fingers. They've
He's
been around.
like, same song and dance.
Yeah, not 1600. It wasn't a pilgrim.
I'm sorry. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
I'm not good at history.
We're not good at history. We're dumb. We watch movies and talk about how scary they are.
Because that's when Ireland was beginning to be Michelinized from.
I said Michigan.
What? You know, they became Wolverines.
They're going through some rough times right now.
And good.
I also gave my extra special point because I really like this movie. I've seen it 3 or 4 times
3
now.
times this year.
Yeah, this year since it came out.
25.
That's crazy.
I watched it less than 24 hours ago. I finished it. No, I was still watching it 12 hours ago.
Nice.
Ooh.
I gave it a 10.
10. Okay. So for me,
I
I
almost
gave.
said you're winning. Like,
She found it the scariest.
Damn it, everybody!
Actually,
I fucking love
3-3
suspense. I love this. Very suspenseful. Great villain.
Yeah. I gave plot a 3. I personally love stories that take place where someone you can't like escape or you're trapped in a confined area. Like that's what scares me. And I love that it's a single day plot. Like you don't see that very often. And while it's a long run time, everything's very tight.
Yeah, that's true.
It does not feel that long, at least to me. So plot wise, I think it's perfect and a very scary setting.
You're right. Every time it clips through for me. Like
Yeah.
I know it's 2 hours 18. I told Tyler, I was like, maybe 2 hours. When he asked me how long it was run, I was like, we looked it up. It was like 2:18. I was like, that doesn't feel like it.
No, not at all. Suspense, I gave it 2. I found it actually suspenseful. To me, the suspense wasn't whether or not they're vampires, it's what's to follow. I know shit's gonna hit the fan, but it's how it happens, how long it takes, what specifically is gonna happen. The last third, I was incredibly stressed because I'm like, oh, damn it, every time they made a mistake, I'm just like, well, that just builds to the suspense to the end. To me, I don't necessarily think knowing if they're vampire or not deters from it.
Personally, I think I lost suspense too because my favorite character was Stack, and he got pretty early in the third act. So then everything else was kind of like,
I was a
my
Smoke
dude's already a
fan.
vampire.
I like Smoke. I like them both.
I like them both.
Well, they're the same guys.
Different characters.
We like
so.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
He did a phenomenal job. I mean, everyone did. The whole acting in general was amazing, but kudos to him.
I'll make this very brief, but part of the filming, he had to wear a rig that captured every face.
Oh, God. I saw it.
Because some scenes, they had to superimpose his face onto somebody else. So to be able to still act that way, but have this rig around him, like that's crazy.
That's gotta be crazy to watch you give yourself a hug.
Yeah.
Like on screen.
Passing the cigarette at the beginning is incredibly technical and hard to do. Like something you wouldn't think about because you have to match cut that.
They could have hired another actor. They didn't have to be twins. They could have just been brothers.
I know.
There's a lot of other good actors out there.
Absolutely just did.
They could have, but it's very impressive.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
But everyone's like, Michael B. Jordan times 2, please.
Do you think he'll be up for an Oscar?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I hope he. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I hope he wins one.
I hope so.
Best supporting actor
To himself.
Which one would be the supporting?
I think Stack. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I guess so. But Sammy was good too. And I think Sammy didn't know how to play the guitar before this.
No way.
Yeah, he learned for this movie.
And so did Slim. Like Slim took music lessons for this.
The harmonica?
Yeah.
He was a great character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Alex, sorry.
No, you're fine. Atmosphere, I actually scored this low. I gave it a 1. I love summer. I love the heat. The atmosphere wasn't scary to me. I actually I would love to be there. So I didn't find
Kick
scary.
your ass out.
Not that time period, right?
No, of course. Well, I'd be fine.
I like
No, just it didn't attribute to the scariness.
Right.
But the accuracy, if we're going that route, obviously. But it wasn't scary to me in a setting outside of it being at nighttime. Villain,
Coming from a white man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Asterisk, white guy. Villain, I gave a 2. I thought he was scary. I just don't find vampires super scary to begin with. But with the transformation that does occur and the eyeballs freak me out. So
yeah, I just love Remick. I just can't believe it. I feel like the only person.
I'm not like terrified of him. I'd be afraid if I put myself in that situation, but like visually and what transpires.
Do they feed on anyone, or is it just turning everyone? Like, do they ever have a complete meal? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, well, Cornbread. Remember he said when Cornbread tackled that guy, he's like, oh, he's just hungry.
But he turned him too.
Yeah.
So maybe they just don't need a lot.
I guess.
Yeah.
It just feels like no one becomes food. Everyone becomes ally.
They just drink. They're like that kind of vampire where they just drink blood. And extra point I did because this was a really good movie.
What's your score?
9. So
3 9s and a 10. You win, Steph.
Good job, Stephanie.
Yay. Stephanie.
I did so well.
1 point scared. More scared than you. Well, thank you both for joining us. It was a lot of fun watching Sinners and talking about it with you guys.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was fun. I'm glad you guys forced me to watch a horror movie. I appreciate that.
Of course.
I've not seen Sinners and Weapons. I just got to watch the Unicorn movie so I can compare.
Weapons.
You didn't watch Weapons?
I've seen Sinners and I've seen Weapons.
Oh, okay.
Now I need to see the Unicorn movie because you said it wasn't as good as this one.
You can skip it.
I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
Yes, thanks again for joining us. Do you guys want to remind everyone where they can find you? I know you already kind of said it in the beginning, but...
Yeah, we are Brilliant Bizarre. If you're on YouTube watching this, we have our own YouTube channel. Check it out. It's fun. Tell lots of fun visual stories on YouTube, I think. I don't really watch it that much.
Visual stories.
I don't know.
We're visually on there.
We're visually there. And then our podcast is everywhere you listen to a podcast.
Thanks again.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.